The internet is like a giant iceberg floating in the ocean. What we see on top, the part above the water, is called the surface web, sometimes also known as the visible web, indexed web, or light net. To help you visualize it, imagine walking into a huge library where every book is easy to find thanks to a well-organized index. This part of the internet works in a similar way. It's the section we all see and use daily, filled with popular websites like YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and Reddit. These are the places we visit to watch videos, chat with friends, share photos, and read the news. So, if the surface web is just the tip of the iceberg, what makes up the other 90% of the internet that lies beneath the surface? In the bergie web, you stumble upon things that are not on the everyday internet. This includes sites that might be banned from your standard search results, like piracy sites, where you can watch your favorite movies or pirate your favorite games. It's also where you might find websites blocked in certain countries. For example, if you're in China, where YouTube is blocked, or if you're in a country where the image board 4chan is banned, the bergie web is where you'll be able to find it. While these sites are literally nothing compared to what we talk about later, accessing the bergie web often involves more effort than just a simple search. You might need a specific software or know the exact web address, as these sites are not officially part of the searchable internet. For instance, unlisted YouTube videos are technically part of this space, as you can't search them up. The bergie web exists in kind of a gray area. It's not as dark or mysterious as the deeper levels of the internet, where slightly more illegal activities may occur. Now, the dark web is a mysterious and hidden part of the internet that most of us have heard of, but few truly understand. It's built on top of the regular internet we all use. To access the dark web, you need specific software because the information and websites there are hidden and protected through encryption. This makes it a place where anonymity is a key feature, and it's why some people use it for privacy and others for slightly less noble activities. One of the main gateways to the dark web is through something called the Tor browser, provided by the Onion router or the Tor network. Imagine sending a letter through a maze of tunnels. Only the entrance and the exit points are known, but not the path in between. That's how Tor works to keep your internet journey almost impossible to trace, protecting your privacy with layers of encryption, much like an onion. Despite the promise of anonymity, the dark web is not a lawless land. Law enforcement agencies are quite active in tracking illegal activities, shutting down websites, and prosecuting those involved in criminal acts. But no, merely walking into this secret room isn't illegal, but it's what you find inside that can lead you into trouble. It's like peeking into a cookie jar that contains all the illegal cookies. You're not doing anything wrong just by having a look. Now, let's talk about what's actually on the dark web. It might surprise you to learn that personal information doesn't cost much there. Credit card details, online banking logins, and even accounts for services like Uber and Netflix can be bought for relatively small amounts of money. More serious items such as passports can fetch thousands of dollars. And most marketplaces are not just a free-for-all. It has its own system of ratings and reviews, much like the online shopping sites you're used to, like a far more illegal and immoral eBay or Amazon. In the same sphere of legal stuff, there are also hacking websites, which are basically websites where you can pay a guy to hack stuff for you. They claim to do things like break into people's accounts, crash websites with DDoS attacks, and even frame people by putting illegal content on their computers without them knowing. And they do all of this hiding behind the anonymity that comes with using Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, making it all feel very sneaky and underground. It's really not a good idea to get mixed up with these kind of sites. It's fine to be curious about the darker parts of the web, but actually using these services is a whole different ballgame and can land you in big trouble, both with the law and in your personal life. Then there's a whole other world of stolen bank cards and counterfeit money sites. But I'm not even going to dive into that. They're all filled with scams and phishing traps, and honestly, they're not worth our time to talk about. There are also tons, and I mean tons, of illegal drug markets, like the extremely infamous Silk Road, for example. Ross Ulbricht, who went by Dread Pirate Roberts online, started Silk Road as an underground marketplace on the dark web. He envisioned it as a free market experiment, pushing the limits of privacy and anonymity, utilizing Tor and Bitcoin to keep it as anonymous as possible. Silk Road became a hub for selling drugs and other illegal items. attracting thousands of vendors and customers worldwide. He used his technical skills to create a platform that operated outside government oversight, making it easy and relatively safe for users to buy and sell narcotics and other contraband. The marketplace swiftly took off, far exceeding Albrecht's initial expectations, though Silk Road's success drew attention not just from users, but also from law enforcement. To his friends and family, Albrecht was an ambitious entrepreneur. Online, as Dread Pirate Roberts, he managed a vast digital empire. This alias was actually pretty clever, as it implied that Silk Road could survive beyond any one individual, as Dread Pirate Roberts is not just one man, but many, suggesting a rotating leadership, though Albrecht was the one caught in the end. The FBI's interest in Silk Road grew as it became more popular. Albrecht made efforts to protect his identity and the site's operations, but a few digital slip-ups led investigators to suspect him. Soon after, he was arrested in a public library in San Francisco, after he got up very briefly and left his laptop logged into Silk Road Administrator panel, where the covert FBI agents were secretly watching him and quickly snatched it. Though there are more sinister services, like hiring a hitman, 99% of these are just traps set up by the law to catch people attempting to engage in these legal acts. Like the unbelievable story of rentahitman.com. In 2005, Bob Innes was trying to think of a clever name for an IT company that plays on the word hit, as in website visits, and deciding to buy a domain for it. That's precisely what he did when he purchased rentahitman.com for a little over $9. Initially, Bob envisioned it as a catchy name for an IT venture with friends. However, it fizzled out and the website sat dormant. Fast forward to 2008, Bob decided to check the website's inbox, probably expecting spam or empty messages. Instead, he found himself staring at hundreds of emails from people who astonishingly thought rentahitman.com was a genuine service for hiring hitmen. While most messages seemed like bad jokes, the reality hit hard in 2010 when a woman from Canada, Helen, sent a disturbingly detailed request to eliminate 3 relatives in the UK over an inheritance dispute. Realizing the severity, Bob didn't ignore Helen's message. He contacted the California police and forwarded the information to them. The police acted swiftly, involving Canadian authorities who arrested Helen, where she faced jail time in Canada before being extradited to the UK for other serious crimes. Post Helen's incident, Bob transformed rentahitman.com. The website now gleamed with satire, filled with humorous testimonials, fake information, and even a fictitious regulatory act. Despite these clear indicators of parody, the site continued to attract serious and sometimes dangerous inquiries. Assuming the alias Guido Finelli, Bob began a delicate dance of screening messages. He implemented a cooling-off period for clients, hoping they'd reconsider their intentions. Persistent or alarming requests were forwarded to law enforcement. This new mission turned the website into an unexpected tool for catching individuals with harmful intentions. Law enforcement is always on the lookout trying to clean up the dark web. They've shut down big illegal markets and have arrested a lot of people involved in illegal activities. But it's a big challenge because the dark web is designed to keep people anonymous. Police and other agencies are learning new ways to fight crime on the dark web. Despite its dark reputation, the dark web is not just a den of criminal activity. It's also a crucial tool for journalists, activists, and others who require anonymity to avoid persecution. Only a small fraction of Tor users actually visit these hidden services, and the content deemed illicit is only a sliver of what exists in this concealed space. Level 4 as well, stuff that is far more depraved than what we've already covered. The true depths of the dark web. As I mentioned earlier, you've probably heard of 4chan, an image board full of different kinds of content. Well, there's a site called 8chan, which is like a worse version of 4chan. Google removed it from its search results because it's filled with problematic content. 8chan.mo, the dark web version of 8chan, has worse stuff. Just like 4chan, you can browse various topics like anime and fitness, but 8chan.mo has a board called... From what I've seen, it's mostly men posting extremely disturbing videos and pictures with their pets, mainly dogs, in illegal and sickening ways that I'll just leave to your imagination. There were also sites in the realm of revenge with Pink Meth being a major site that let people anonymously upload explicit photos of their exes without their permission. Not only did the site feature these images, it also often included victims' personal info and links to their social media profiles. It actually initially started on the regular internet, but the site had to switch to the dark web later on. Although there was a way to ask for the photos to be removed, but this system was pretty much a sham. Victims had to write detailed accounts of how their photos got leaked, but these requests were basically mocked and blamed on the victims, resulting in the photos staying up. The site's shady dealings got on the radar of legal authorities. In November 2014, as part of Operation Onimus, a big crackdown on illegal dark web activities, Pink Meth was shut down, along with over 24 other sites. Information on who ran Pink Meth and whether they faced any legal fallout is still not clear. There are also the legendary and spooky Red Rooms, but I couldn't find any in my search, and I honestly don't think they exist. A Red Room is supposed to be a secret site or service where viewers can watch live torture or murder, sometimes even telling the person doing it what to do, in a live chat like Twitch, and viewers might have to pay Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies to get in. But there's no solid proof, and many people, including myself, just think they're scary stories. Streaming live video without being caught on the dark web is technically hard, and it's pretty unlikely that someone who is depraved and dumb enough to kill someone has the technical know-how to set it all up, which makes the reality of these rooms pretty unlikely. That wraps up today's video. If you enjoyed, please consider subscribing, and if you want something else to watch, check out the only other video I've made so far.